For my interprofessional education shadowing experience, I shadowed Andrew Bernard's surgical team. I didn't actually get to meet him, but he had a couple of other surgeons on his team that agreed to let me follow them around. So for the morning, pretty much what I did is I got there at 6 and we walked. First, we had an hour-long meeting or so, and they went over all of the patients that had had surgeries, all of the ones that were there going to have surgeries, and then like patients that were potentially maybe going to have a surgery. So for the first hour, we had that meeting, and then after that, I followed this team around as they did rounds, and so we went to every single patient's room on an entire floor, both towers at UK. And that took the whole rest of the time that I was there, the whole rest of the 3-hour shadowing that we had to do. And I think one thing that I thought was interesting was I didn't realize how much they're involved in the decisions about having surgeries. I think I assumed that somebody told the surgeon so-and-so needs this surgery, go ahead and do it. So that was something that was interesting to me. Another thing that was interesting was I've always been told surgeons were kind of mean and kind of arrogant, and they actually were super friendly, and I felt like they had a pretty good bedside manner. Like compared to what I was expecting, they were really kind to the patients. So another thing that I wanted to comment on was just the collaboration between teams, because after we did rounds for a couple of hours, the surgical team had another meeting with a social worker and with a nurse practitioner that was taking care of the patients, and they just had a discussion about future plans for the patient and their recovery, or the patients that weren't going to have a surgery, they went over why and making sure that that was the best option. And then the social worker would talk about, the financials involved or the family who could take care of them if they did have the surgery. And they covered all their bases that way. So overall, it was a really special experience. I probably would not want to do it again because in the shadowing role, it's just not as hands-on. But I'm glad that I did because it really, I learned a lot about what surgeons and their teams actually do.